TJ isn't portrayed as the villain here. It's understandable that he's feeling angry. This isn't approaching domestic violence territory. Rather, he attempted to be supportive initially, but should have communicated his reservations earlier. Now he's in a situation he's uncomfortable with. He preferred to wait, whereas Molly took initiative and chose Kristina without consulting him. Admittedly, he should have been more vocal about his feelings regarding the pregnancy, which is his responsibility. However, labeling him as nearly abusive is inaccurate. The argument about genetic connection seems simplistic. While Kristina isn't a perfect choice as a donor, TJ isn't risking losing a genetic link to his son. If genetic ties were unimportant to him, they could adopt, where neither parent would have a biological connection. TJ's current actions are exacerbating stress for everyone involved. What bothers me most is how TJ seems to discount Molly's connection to Sonny. He acts as if only Kristina matters in their family dynamic, which is unreasonable given the family they've built together. Additionally, TJ's verbal outburst towards Kristina, his partner, was inappropriate and hurtful. As an adult, TJ should have clearly expressed if he didn't want a child, which seems to underpin his anger towards Kristina and Molly, or disagreed with Kristina being the surrogate. Instead, he suppressed his own feelings, leading to outbursts directed at Molly and Kristina. His anger appears to stem from internal conflict projected onto his partner and her sister. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. However, TJ's behavior is frustrating, especially considering the latest episode where he criticizes Kristina's emotional reactions during pregnancy. Women have experienced emotions like anger and fear while pregnant for centuries without harming their babies. Blaming Kristina for any potential issues with the baby is unfair. While I was annoyed with TJ before, his recent actions make me want to run him over with my car. I could get away with it in PC. The way he treats Molly is unacceptable. She deserves better than his current misogynistic behavior. He needs to reflect on his actions and listen more. The entire storyline feels odd. It seems like Molly and TJ are being portrayed as unfamiliar with Sonny, despite Molly growing up closely with the Corinthos family. They were all exposed to Sonny's darker side and considered him family, especially given Molly's close relationship with him after her father left. TJ also had a significant bond with Sonny, even living with him at one point, with Sonny supporting him through college. It's frustrating how the show tries to rewrite these established character connections. I've said this repeatedly. The show's historians should be able to accurately recall character histories, create family trees, and use evidence when developing storylines. If an episode is accessible on YouTube or through archived tapes, there's no excuse for careless retcons. They should aim for more consistency and respect for the characters viewers have grown to know. Both Molly and TJ made mistakes that led to this difficult situation. Molly rushed things, and TJ didn't clearly express his objections to Kristina being the surrogate. However, TJ's current behavior towards Molly and Kristina is inappropriate, and he needs to reconsider his approach. Perhaps Aunt Stella can offer some guidance to help him see reason. On the other hand, Finn's struggle with drinking on General Hospital is intriguingly portrayed. I appreciate how the show has depicted his denial. I'm an addict, not an alcoholic, and tendency to blame others, like Elizabeth. However, the rapid pace of reactions from everyone feels rushed, especially compared to other storylines on the show. In the case of Nikki's alcohol storyline, for instance, it unfolded over several months, which allowed for deeper exploration. General Hospital could have stretched Finn's storyline further, possibly involving his job and interactions with Violet, which could have added more complexity. Despite his hurtful comment about supporting Elizabeth through her challenges, now is the time she should be there for him. I also find Chase and Brooklyn's handling of the situation commendable. Regarding the timeline, it's been about 2 to 3 weeks in General Hospital time since Finn started drinking heavily, coinciding with Gregory's passing and subsequent memorial. Signs like carrying breath spray at Gregory's memorial indicate he's been hiding his drinking for some time, including driving under the influence. There's concern that Finn's behavior could lead to a serious accident, possibly harming Liz in a hit-and-run scenario, which adds to the tension of the storyline. Overall, while General Hospital's approach to Finn's drinking has its strengths, a slower narrative development could have provided more depth and suspense to the unfolding events. However, the dynamic between TJ and Molly is becoming increasingly concerning. TJ's blaming of Molly and his attempts to control Kristina's decisions about her body are disturbing, hinting at potential issues akin to domestic violence. Their relationship seems toxic, raising questions about their readiness to raise a child given their demanding careers and absence from home. The entire situation frustrates me. Molly's self-identification as a workaholic raises doubts about her ability to prioritize parenting. Critics might argue that her lifestyle isn't suitable even for owning a pet, let alone raising a child. These judgments complicate the already complex dynamics of surrogacy within their family. Throughout this storyline, TJ's character has noticeably changed, exhibiting controlling behavior that wasn't present before. Their relationship, previously stable, has now turned toxic, likely influenced by the stress of the pregnancy. Parenthood can indeed alter people, though it's unfair to solely blame their professions. Many parents successfully manage careers without compromising their parental responsibilities. The notion of Team TJ feels unsettling to me. He made choices freely, including entering into a domestic partnership and opting to use Kristina as a surrogate. His failure to communicate earlier doesn't absolve him of responsibility. His current behavior, verging on controlling, is troubling, particularly his perception of a child and Kristina's autonomy as his possessions. Overall, Wednesday's episode effectively portrayed the complexities of human ugliness emerging under stressful circumstances, which adds depth to the storyline. Additionally, why not consider aging up Avery instead? It would provide a more believable storyline for one of Sonny's daughters grappling with his violent lifestyle. A teenage Avery, sheltered compared to her siblings, could realistically struggle with coming to terms with her father's darker side. Conversely, Kristina, as an adult, seems unrealistic in her surprise over Sonny's potential for violence, given her upbringing. Despite Alex's efforts to keep Sonny at arm's length due to his danger, Kristina developed her own relationship with him as she grew older. Their bond, rooted in acceptance rather than judgment, is a compelling aspect that shouldn't be overlooked. Aged-up Avery could still have emotional scenes discussing Sonny's complexities, with Kristina guiding her through similar experiences from her youth. This approach would also provide opportunities for Avery to confront Ava's darker traits when revelations like the pill situation come to light. Moreover, General Hospital could benefit from more teen characters, potentially integrating Avery into the group with Danny, Jake, Charlotte, Georgie, and others. However, aging Avery now might complicate the timeline with other younger characters like Jake, Aiden, and the rest who would need aging up eventually. General Hospital may be strategizing for the long term with these characters, akin to how they handled Kimberly and Steve's characters. As for Kristina, her portrayal fits well given her history of trust and naivety, exemplified during her time with Dawn of Day. Her history of abuse also adds depth to her reaction upon witnessing her father's violent side for the first time. This storyline also mirrors Dante's struggle with accepting Sonny, echoing personal experiences where understanding parental decisions often comes with adulthood and maturity. Moreover, in their recent conversation, Carly approached Jason with concern, catching him off guard while he was at the rooftop pool. Her flurry of questions and worries seemed to come across as nagging to Jason, reminiscent of a mother pressing for information from a child not yet ready to share. Did anyone else get that impression? It felt like a throwback to earlier times when Jason would push back against Carly's intrusions into his personal affairs, as seen in clips from 2006 to 2008. His response yesterday echoed those moments, where he seemed to shut down Carly's inquiries. I hope this situation prompts Jason to reflect on how the three main women in his life are handling his return and their efforts to help him. Carly, who is demanding answers and pushing him to disclose what's happening and where he's been. Sam, who is going behind his back and risking legal trouble, endangering herself, Jason, and Spinelli. Elizabeth, who provides support, listens attentively, gently points out perspectives, and encourages him to consider the impact of his return on those around him. This dynamic could lead to an important introspective journey for Jason as he navigates his current challenges and relationships. On the other hand, we've discussed this multiple times since Laura expressed interest in potentially overturning Heather's convictions, drawing parallels to Franco's court case involving brain poisoning. For those familiar with both cases, which character's storyline provided more believable evidence of poisoning and its impact on their actions? I haven't seen the specifics of Franco's court case that Alexis mentioned in Thursday's episode, but I did appreciate seeing good Franco step up as a supportive stepfather to Elizabeth's family, which must have developed over time. Regarding Heather, her potential release from prison due to hip replacement poisoning feels implausible given her history as a villain throughout General Hospital's long run. Even though I only know about Heather from General Hospital Wiki, I'm not fond of the direction this storyline is taking. What are your opinions on this? Alexis raised a valid point about Diane's case for Franco potentially being used to defend Heather. However, Heather's erratic behavior stretches back to 1979, when she accidentally dosed herself with LSD intended for Deanna Taylor, attempting to gain custody of PJ, Stephen Lars. 45 years of such instability and criminal acts can't simply be explained away by possible cobalt poisoning from a hip replacement. However, Georgie bears a striking resemblance to her late aunt, Maxie's sister and namesake, not just in personality but also in appearance. She truly embodies Aunt Georgie's essence. Imagine a future storyline where Spinelli's daughter becomes involved in a triangle with one of Jason's sons, perhaps Georgie with either Danny or Jake. The potential for sibling rivalry between Jake and Danny, stemming from their shared history and their father Jason, could intensify with the addition of a romantic interest. However, considering the age difference apparent between the boys and Georgie, unless the show ages up Georgie, SORAS, this storyline might not be plausible right now. The boys appear to be older, possibly in high school, while Georgie seems younger, more fitting for intermediate school age. The resemblance between Georgie and Lindsay Letherman is uncanny, making it preferable to keep her in the role for continuity rather than recasting. It would be intriguing to explore Georgie's character further, potentially weaving in elements reminiscent of her Aunt Georgie's legacy. Additionally, is anyone else frustrated by how Kristina's baby bump looks on screen? It's a minor detail, but every time it appears, it's enough to drive me crazy. It seems like they could use a better body pillow or something more realistic. As a father of three, I can see similarities between Kristina's appearance and how my wife looked during her pregnancies. Kate Mancy, around 5'2" tall, shares a similar body type to my wife, who is about 5'3". I'm not just trying to be contrary. I've actually been noticing an improvement in how they're portraying her lately. The flowy baby doll outfits they've chosen for her seem more fitting. Before this recent adjustment to her baby bump, it didn't quite look realistic to me. Overall, I think it's acceptable. Is it perfect? No, but every pregnant woman looks different, so it's not unusual for perspectives to vary. In the grand scheme of the storyline, the portrayal of the baby bump is probably the least bothersome aspect. Moreover, as many of you may recall, Marcus Taggart was mentored by Deke Woods, Sonny's abusive stepfather. When Sonny arranged for Dake's death by Joe Scully in the 1980s, Taggart was devastated and enraged, believing Dake to be a good and caring man. Upon Taggart's arrival in Port Charles years later, he harbored deep animosity towards Sonny, refusing to accept Sonny's version of events and accusing him of falsehoods regarding Dake's character. If memory serves correctly, Taggart eventually came to believe Sonny, particularly as Sonny began displaying psychological symptoms like claustrophobia. There were other incidents that contributed to a shift in their dynamic, leading to a more peaceful understanding between them. However, specific details of what transpired to reconcile their differences elude me at the moment. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.